All right, front row seat. We're going to go ahead and start this off correctly. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button. If you don't like what you see at the end of the video, you can always click it down. It ain't that goddamn serious.
That's right.
But front row seat. And that's exactly what we got going on here. We're going to breeze through some stuff because it really don't matter. But Maggie, they done got banged out to the goddamn gods.
Long D style.
By Deacon David. Deacon David had the Clarence Carter in his head. I've been stroking to the east.
I've been stroking to the west.
Been stroking to the woman that I love the best. But it won't Maggie.
Nope.
He's still hung up on his goddamn wife. And that goddamn Maggie is begging him for dear life not to leave. Because he said he need to go and figure out who's the man in the goddamn photo. Here come Maggie Day. You just need to leave her alone. She been cheating on you with this young guy, sleeping with him in your truck.
He said, wait a minute. How do you know that she was in my truck?
Oh, the steering wheel.
The steering wheel? He said, there's no steering wheel in that picture. And there ain't no goddamn steering wheel in that picture.
So she done ratted her own goddamn self off. So David tells her, look, Maggie, I need you to retract that daggone statement that you make and put another statement out to the press that this whole time my wife is standing by my side. And Maggie was like, why the heck would I do that?
That's a lie.
I've been with you. I've been ride or die with you. I got you out of jail. I gave you some good loving when you got out. That's hood 101. I'm not good enough for you? What is really happening?
Ooh.
So David was like, look, I want to be with the woman that I married.
Player.
So pretty much you don't got stroked up, used up like you wanted to.
But she wanted to be used. She said, use me. So don't be mad now that he gonna use you.
David don't put his daggone clothes. Well, he didn't even put his clothes on. He just went pushed on over there like Justin J would say, and hit her in the nose with the goddamn door.
Bagow.
I said, David. After y'all don't cuddle.
Yeah, and a kiss.
I said, you better get that morning after pill like I told you last week. Put it on her tongue. Put the water in and knock her head back.
You definitely messed up now, player.
Because she gonna be pregnant.
We already know she won't gonna go get the pill. Now we definitely know she ain't gonna get the pill.
See, David not a player. Yeah. Because David should have played this thing out until she had her next period.
That's right.
And then you be like, oh, no, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
You wait until you out of that danger zone.
Wait till you in the clear first play.
Come on now. I'm a female. I know the game.
Yeah.
Come on here.
See, he been out of the player game a little too long. See?
Well, before you cheat, get your handbook out. Because that's how you get caught up. So then we got Katherine. Katherine is losing it in the jail. Look, she ain't been able to wash her hair. She ain't got her girdle on, so the muffin is just pow, pow, pow.
Uh-huh.
She's like, look, what day is it? I'm going crazy because you know she ain't got no phone call. She finally gets released. We don't know how.
I don't have a clue how she got out of jail.
Nah. But when she leaves out of the cell, Jim was like, make sure you call. I think it's a Judge Carter.
Yeah.
Clarence Carter, I don't know.
Yeah. The judge.
So she was like, yeah, that's going to be the first call that I make. And then she turned around and said, I'm going to get y'all out. But before she even left up out of that, Veronica sitting at the top and said, I can't believe David ain't going to get me out. You can't.
You already know why he ain't let you out. He told you in the freaking interrogation room why he won't let you out.
So here come, after Miss Katherine went ahead and left, that leaves Veronica, Monica, and Jim in there to just go at it. And they going at it.
Back and forth.
Back and forth. And the banter was really cute for what it was worth. But Jim said, he said, you about to see your new home in hell in so many words. And she was like, oh, so you're very confident that something's going to happen to me? He said, it's been already paid for.
You already bought and paid for. Your ticket to hell is already been bought and paid for. You going there early.
She said, well, if I go, you going with me?
She said, how do you know that your ticket ain't bought and paid for?
I said, you forgot who you were messing with, Jim. Whatever you can do, she's already thought of it.
Because she ain't going to let you see her sweat. Even though the ticket might not be bought and paid for.
I'm going to mess with your mind.
I'm going to mess with your mind.
Yeah. So, they just went back and forth about that. Really wasn't too much to it. I'm just ready for somebody to get choked out.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
1-800 choke that hoe.
So Katherine gets out. She in the back of this car. She in her Uber, the luxury package.
So not the Uber.
She's in the luxury Uber. You know how you can get black car service? So that's what she got. And Tyler messed up on the green screen big time.
Because they was moving like that.
I said, and the car ain't moving at all. But Katherine is trying to get this judge to work on getting Jim and Veronica out. The judge was like, yeah.
You ain't gonna scratch me.
He said he gonna have to ride this thing out. He gonna have to go through a hearing. And she's like, "What? Do you know who you messing with?
And for all that I did for you, you don't know who you're messing with."
Katherine said, "I'm gonna show you an enemy like you've never seen before."
He said this thing done got national news because y'all hit that girl.
Yeah, he said the march
said the march said none of the judges don't want nothing to do with. That's some black stuff for you right there.
Yeah, so then she tried to call the lawyer, and she was like, "Can you meet with me today?" And evidently the lawyer was like, "Ba da ba da ba," and she was like, "Well, can you meet with me tomorrow?" The lawyer was like, "Ba da 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 da."
Yeah,
it's like I don't like Grandma said, I don't hear or see too good.
Yeah.
See, Katherine.
So I ain't going to jail for y'all over this.
Let me introduce you to being black.
Yes.
When you get in trouble, you go to jail, you get sick, or you lose your job. That's when people don't answer you no more.
No more. Nope.
So
they don't want nothing to do with it because they ain't going to jail for your stuff.
So you're not black, but you've been hanging around black people long enough that now you just have to deal with some of the stuff that we deal with.
Yep. So
now you learn that your money ain't good right now because you're in trouble.
Exactly.
So then we get this knock on Candace's door. And I said, "Who the heck is this chick?"
Yeah, I was like, we ain't seen her before.
I said,
that when we first saw her anyway.
She still look different. So it's the $500 chick, the $500 car chick that sold Benny their car for $500. Well, come to find out, her and goddamn Candace been working together.
They road dogs.
They butt buddies. They con artists.
Yeah.
They con sisters.
Yeah, they tight.
I said,
wait a minute.
Why you didn't tell me? Who wrote this into the script late? Because that right there, Tyler, we know. Yeah. You try to throw us off because we already predicted what's going to happen. But you ain't going to do it.
Hey, you can't fool us. You can't fool a fooler.
Yeah. So Candace was like, "Little babe, I need your help because I've been marked." She was like, "Not you."
No, not Candace.
Not us.
Yeah.
We don't
get marked. Especially you. You don't get marked.
So she was like, "How were you able to get marked?" And she was like, it was a dude named Oscar, which, wait a minute, that ain't even his name.
His real name.
And the girl was like, "Okay, wait a minute. Go ahead and backtrack of all the stuff and let's go to the beginning of how y'all met so that we can figure out who's the player in the game." And she said, "I know who it is. It's Jim Cryer." And she was like, She said, "How long did it take for him to pull his con on you?" She said, "It took a while." She said, "That ain't Jim."
Nah, she said, "Ain't even Jim him up."
I said, "Oh, yeah, because Jim ain't got the kind of patience for that." She said, "Think a little lower." I said, "Oh, don't call David low."
What?
So then she was like,
start putting that thing together.
Like they say, Landon. She was like, "Yeah, I was sitting there at the bar and Landon showed me all of his bios on his phone." And she was like, "So you didn't take the time to look it up?" She said, "Funny thing is, when I went to look it up, I couldn't find anything
on him.
So she was like, okay. I said, "Oh, so Landon really was in on this."
Whoa.
So pretty much when Landon's phone left, the little fake links left and all the little fake bios left and all of that because he had it uploaded to Wix. And after he left, he went ahead and took his website down or whatever. So she was like, "Okay, you got one player in the game. Keep thinking."
Got to be somebody else.
So she was like,
"Wait a minute. Goddamn social worker."
She said she was really adamant about me putting my account number in Oscar's computer to prove to them that I had money that I could take care of my kid, that she can verify my income.
Yep.
She was there when he stole my money. And I started thinking about that thing because I never thought about the social worker like that. But we've already talked about the fact of last week, how the heck were you a social worker, gave that boy over to his grandma, but did not release that he had lupus and asthma.
Nope.
Are you a social worker for real? For real?
So either she slipped hard or she in on this deal.
So I said, ooh. But one thing I'm going to say right off the bat before this get real. The old Candace
is back. Yes, sir.
And I'll die for this skit too.
Yeah, we've been waiting on it. We've been waiting weeks for her to come back. Oscar softened her up, but he done made her back hard for doing what he did to her.
So we
you
about to
pay.
see.
You about to pay, player.
You about to pay, and I'm here for front row seat.
Yes.
Okay, so we get to see old Quita, but thank God that we didn't see Quita for long, because y'all know Quita drives me
so
insane.
glad.
So Quita and Dylan then went over to Candace's house because they don't track the phone to that house, and she was like, I don't know.
Something ain't right about this.
So at the same time, Candace come her tail out there to go to the car, and I'm sitting here like, Candy, where is your hood senses?
Yeah, you lose the neighborhood is all gone. You come out there and then you look around, nothing.
I'm over you right now. So she goes back in the house. So Quita was like, okay, well, that's Candy. So Guy was like, well, maybe he in there with her. That is his baby mama. She's like, nah, something ain't right. At the same time, y'all pray for me.
Yes, please.
This prejudice, old Betty,
yeah,
that need her head knocked off.
Clean off.
She come running out there with her flower outfit on for her gardening and crap. She come out there. You can't park here. You can't park
here. I
here.
should call the police.
She said, you all be.
Leave me alone.
Go away. She, I'm going to call the police. So she calls her son, talking about son, and she called me an old B.
Just so you need to get over here right now. And I appreciate Quita doing that. I will take a pass on her cussing that lady out. Because I'm done. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm over her.
So then David goes over to the tow yard. I seen that black Cadillac. Mm-hmm. No, black. Is it a Cadillac truck? Yeah, Cadillac truck.
Them Jones is tight.
He pulls up. I said, oh, God. So Mitch is out there working on truck. He was like, is Benny Young here? He was like, no, he's out on a tow. When would he be back? He's out on a tow. So what is he doing? How long has he owned this place? Is there something I can help you with? Do you need a tow? So then finally David was like, okay, Mitch ain't no snitch. He said, yeah, I do need a tow. So he gives him the
tow yard,
the business card. I said, So Mitch is looking at him like,
Said, Mitch is not a snitch.
Mitch ain't a snitch. So David goes ahead and leaves. I said, okay. Mitch gets on the phone. Benny, you just had a visitor? Mr. Harrington. He was like, Benny got all scared.
Yeah, what do you want?
He said, I don't know, but did it have anything to do with that lime and that shovel in your car? I said, two different tragedies.
Yeah.
Benny is so much mess, you can't even put them together.
Yep.
So Benny gets off the phone with Mitch. He was like, Mitch, we'll talk about this later. Then, God darn, he calls.
David give him a call.
Benjamin, we need to meet
today.
He said, and what's this in reference to?
My wife.
And how long y'all been having an affair? Yeah. First of all, an affair would be a stretch word for somebody like that.
Yeah, they've
been having sex.
Yeah, they've been having sex. Bumping and grinding. Like you said,
bumping bellies. So, Benny was no, I'm not going to meet with you. I'm not going to talk to you.
You need to talk to your wife.
I said, ooh. He said, no, I'm going to talk to you
first.
He said, look, don't call me no more. Talk to your wife. I said, that's right. Because you ain't married to him.
That's
she
right.
is. So I'm with Benny on that one, although two wrongs don't make a right. I said, well, go ahead.
Because tonight. What's the rest of it?
Don't do it. So then Jennifer goes into the FEMA camp jail.
Oh, boy.
This is when it started getting good.
Yeah, this would have got real right here.
Because she went in there to stir the pot and walked out with it boiling.
Yes, she stirred it up good, too.
She goes in there, And that daggone Veronica was like, oh, Lord, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you.
She said, you don't need to talk to me. But your son, he is so eager to testify against you. Now, his dad, he not testifying against his dad. But you.
His guns is loaded for you.
So Veronica was like, it's never going to stick. Because he's represented by counsel. And by law, I can't turn him in, even if he's guilty. I said, what card is she about to play? But I didn't pay that no mind. Mm-hmm. So then she turns her focus on the Jim. And she was like, oh, Jim. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wyatt. Ooh, he got a sweet deal with us. And she was like, what? Jim was like, Wyatt can't survive without us. He ain't made for these streets.
Yeah, he used to a certain lifestyle.
She said, oh, he's going to be quite all right. He was like, huh? And she was like, oh, yeah, he got first class. It's all. He said, when did the city start providing
first class?
She said,
she said, what you do?
What did you do?
What did you do?
So Veronica over there trying to talk to her. He said, wait a minute. What did you do? She walk on out of there like, got him. I said, yeah, you got them all at that time.
But you forgot. She got Veronica too and told her that David was sleeping with Maggie.
Oh, yeah.
That's what shut her down.
Yeah, because she was like, you know your husband sleeping with Maggie, right? She was like, how would you know
How
that?
did you know that?
Who you think got him out?
Yeah, who you think? She was like...
And he went right to her hotel as soon as they left here.
Boom! Dropped the hammer down and she walked on out.
Like the girl on Wendy said.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Drop the mic and walk out.
Exit stage left. So then here come Hannah. Hannah goes to work. How did she get from the hospital with no money?
And get her to work.
Get her outfit. Because she left all the stuff in the hotel. Make it believable for me.
Yeah.
So she goes, and Wyatt is on the couch, butterball naked, laying in between another girl that's butterball naked. They just don't had them a freak fest, and both of them high as kites.
Yes.
The girl was like, I would leave, but he owes me money, and I can't get him off of me. I've been trying to wake him up for hours. I said, oh, he high as hell.
Yep.
High as hell. So Hannah was like, get him up. She was like, lady, don't you think I've been trying to get him up? So Hannah takes a glass of water, throws it on him. I was like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You stupid.
Like, boy, get up. So he gets up and he told her, get out, get out. And she was like, not until you give me my money. And then she said, $5.
I don't know if she would say 500 or 5,000. But if he paid $5,000.
I think it was for drugs. I think the cooch was free.
But she said, you don't want my pimp to come back.
Oh, yeah, she did say that.
She said, you don't want my pimp to come back.
So, yeah. So then he turns over, I guess, with his jangalang all hanging out. Hannah was like, can you put that away? He was like, oh, you ain't never seen that like this?
You ain't never seen one of these before?
You know why it is an a-hole, right? And she was like, look, boy, I'm not playing with you. So they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And she was like, where are your parents? He said,
I killed them.
I took care of them.
Yeah.
I got rid of them. He was like, what you talking about? He said, they're in the attic. I killed them
for that. She said, stop playing with me, boy. Where are your parents at?
He said, do you have a TV in your house?
You don't know?
They in jail. She was like,
for what?
He said, Hannah, I'm not trying to insult you, but are you stupid?
Are you that stupid?
Are you mental? I said, Wyatt, stop playing. And he was like, you know what I did. You know what I did. And she was like, what did you do?
Tell me what you did.
He said, that night that you saw me at that table, what did you think I was doing? Where did you think I came from? You heard me say that I hit a girl. And that you didn't put that together. Are you that stupid? She said, okay. Then she started rolling off on some scriptures. And I said, here we go, Hannah. Don't you over spiritualize this.
Don't you do it.
This is a real life situation where you need to hem his tail up. He pretty much bragging about how he got away with it and that you were too stupid to turn him in.
Yep.
So long story short, Hannah was like, you must don't know how the Lord works. Because he said, I'm going to be good. I got immunity. And she was like, but you reap what you sow. And that ain't no immunity for that. You need to repent. I have a front row seat to the hell that's happening
to this family.
I said,
But I was thinking too, I said, we have a front row seat at your reaping process too, Hannah.
Hello. So it
bing,
works both
bing,
ways.
bow.
Even when you
say
repent.
you rolling off scriptures with your prideful self.
Yeah. So even when you repent, you still have to reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Now.
So you reaping too. You done lied to get little Q. Now you lied to keep him in the hotel. You just lie. I'm going too far.
Yeah.
Just lie.
Too far.
Just lie.
So then Hannah was like, you know what? I knew I heard you. And I thought I had ruined your life by telling the DA I thought I heard you admit to running over that girl. But now that you have admitted it, thank you for clearing my conscience.
Yeah, and I know I ain't crazy.
I know that I'm not crazy. But she said, oh, you got something coming to you. What?
What?
It's immunity. It's immunity. She was like, hell is about to break loose on your tail.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right.
But see, I came to Wyatt's defense. Wyatt wanted to turn his stuff. He tried. His conscience was bothering him. He wanted to do the right thing. It was his parents, the one that did all that bagged it up. And so pretty much he went forward with he really didn't have no choice.
No, he only that back and call.
Yeah, he only that back and call. He tried to clear his name. So, throwing all them scriptures at him, he was trying to do that.
Yeah, he was trying.
He tried. He was messed up. He was toe up.
Yeah, so then she goes into the corner and her little, what they call it, the butler suite, praying and crying. Lord, help me get out of here.
Out of this place.
Help me get out of this place. I said, walk.
Just leave. You walk out like you walked in.
Walk out on me. Your boss is not there.
Yeah, so you can't get no paycheck.
Yeah, so then we go over to Candace's house. We hear a knock at the door.
Yes.
I said, who is that? I said, is that Quita? Is that Quita? It's the social worker.
Mr. DeLong.
I said, oh God.
They should have said, welcome to hell. Because you're about ready to meet the devil.
So what was her name? Erica?
Erica. Yeah, Erica.
I said, let her in. Come on in. She said, look, I heard you said this is urgent. She said, mm-hmm. Depending on how you answer these questions will depend on how you walk out of here.
She was like,
I said,
Mrs. Young.
She said, you either can crawl
or limp.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into these questions. She said, where's my son with your mother? She said, okay.
She said, that's right, you didn't know. They never even told Candace.
Never told Candace.
Screwed up.
She said, why did you give my son to my mom? Well, she had a stable home. She was a better fit. You didn't come to the hospital. She said, You know my mom's house burned down, right?
She's like,
yeah. Said, funny thing is, I said, go ahead with it. Funny thing is, when I was staying in the hotel, and homegirl was like, you told me that wasn't good enough. She said,
And I stayed in a nice hotel.
She said, my mama don't have no money. So I'm quite sure it's run down, rose infected.
A hellhole that she stayed in.
She was like, She said, so tell me again, why does my mom have my son? All of a sudden, bow!
She smacked the hell out of it. She smacked her so hard, I saw white lights. That's how hard she smacked.
But her friend in the background was doing like this, like she was getting ready. Candace was like, bow! I said, like Kim Hart said, was that an octopus?
She smacked her so hard it went into commercial break. Pow! Smacked the commercial break.
Next thing we know, Candace done got on top of her, choking her out. Where's Oscar? How much did he pay you? Where he at?
She said, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
She was like, your boyfriend? So the girl was like, so now the memory's
coming back.
And she was like, no. She said, your mom got your son because Miss Cryer talked to the judge. Your mama know the judge. And she was like, what?
So Miss Cryer got my son taken away from me.
She said, okay. So then Candace was like, How much did he pay you?
How much did he
She was
pay?
like, I promise.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think she know.
I'm like, do she know?
I don't.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know. But she got her tail whooped.
She got her tail whooped and dragged. So
Yeah.
she said, Erica. Which one is Erica? Erica is her friend, right?
Yeah.
Erica, hit her.
Hit her. Bam! She backhand slapped her, boy. Good God Almighty!
I said, Lord, she done pulled her by a hair, done drug her to the floor, and dragged her to the door. And that was the end of this episode. So it wasn't all that good, but it's a good lead.
Get to the end, because next week, it like you saw Davey choking, got done Benny.
I said, the revenge of the light-skinned men. God darn. I said the two.
So they coming back?
The pit bull and the rockwaller.
So yeah, I say the episode was alright. The end part, the last 20 minutes were good. You know, the hind paws whooping that Candace gave her, that was the best.
I said the old Candace is back, and I live for this.
That's what we've been missing. Turn up, keep it right there, Tyler. Keep your finger on that dial,
right,
and don't change the station.
Yeah. So we didn't see Jeffrey this episode. So next week, him and his baby mama probably show, because baby mama told me on Twitter that she's gonna be back in a few weeks. So she be back this week. Who else? We didn't see a lot of people this week, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
So straight from the VA,
the dirty South.
to down.
Holla.